please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Very good morning. Welcome to Chartbusters. Well, the show we're highlighting all the buzzing stocks of the day. It's been a good start to the week. This morning we're opening up. The Nifty's already hit a century, so things looking quite good. Mangalam, you know, the bulls would like this. They are seeing the Nifty opening up in the green. The PSU banking space continues to be under pressure. But the mid-cap index, that's the relative underperformer. We're participating in this entire global rally because a lot of those Asian markets, they're gaining between 1 to around 1.5%. The problem is not with the start. It's always been with the finish.
The second innings, you mean?
Second half of trade, very, very important today.
So we'll keep an eye out on that, Nigel. You know, the one thing that really stands out is that you spoke about the Asian markets, they're doing well, but the Nikkei is off about 150 points from the high point of the day. Mid caps are underperforming, but it's the large cap. In fact, the previous plate should come up for you, the contribution plate. And you see all the HDFC batsmen, they're doing very well. ITC is putting in a good knockout there. IT is doing well in Infosys, as well as all the others. So we have good batting lineup, which has come from the frontliners. And that is something perhaps which we will watch out for in latter half of trade. But the one thing that really stands out is that the FNO traders, they don't believe that, you know, this might get sold into. That's exactly what the data point is saying. But as you said, we have to watch out for the next half. 10,300 put, that one should come up for you. We're just about, what, 45 minutes into trade, 1 hour, 15 minutes into trade right now. And 13 lakh shares have been written on that 10,300 put already. 100 rupees for the taking, maybe. The bulls believe that that is one mark, maybe can be defended in the near term at least.
That's going to be interesting, Mangalam. The 10,300, the kind of volumes you're seeing over there is giving you the sense that the bulls believe, well, today, the second half as well, you know, they are going to try to make it as good as possible for them. Just a clutch of stocks, I'm looking at the JP Group stocks. You know, we have been seeing the last few days, they've been absolutely getting better. JP Associates, pull up the intraday chart. That stock is moving higher as we speak. It's up 4.5%. You pull up JP Power as well, is doing
just
quite
well.
well.
Just a point on JP Associates, it entered the FNO ban as well. So that is one technical point that's playing up.
And even JP Power, and I think we should pull up JP Infra as well. So some of these stocks that have got a bit of a whack in the last few days, they're bouncing up. Only a 5-6 rupee stock. Even JP Infra, I think, has recovered from the low point of the day. So just keep an eye out on some of these stocks.
All right. But first up, all the top stories that we're tracking at this point in time. A good start to the week as the Indian markets, for the Indian markets, as key indices gain more than 1% in trade, led by HDFC. ITC. IT is the top sectoral gainer, while the Nifty Bank underperforms a tad bit.
And United Spirits sees a relief rally with no mention of taxing ENA in the GST Council meet. The stock says cheers early this morning.
US hikes the anti-dumping duty threefold on Indian shrimp. Stocks like Avanti Feeds, Apex Frozen and Waterbase underperform in trade today.
And Adani Power gains in trade. IDFC maintains a neutral stance but says the company receives a favorable judgment for relief against the shortage of domestic coal for Tiroda. The regulator has decided to compensate Adani Power for shortage of domestic coal till March 2017. All right, start in the green. Let's see what do you do from here. Ashwini Gujral joins in. Ashwini, are you happy with this start, or do you think it's a good chance to go ahead and short into the Nifty? Or do you think the second half of trade can be good?
See, the short trade has kind of played out. Now, you know, market is splitting into two, where, you know, PSU banks are going down, but private banks are going up and holding on. Similarly, you know, Nifty is holding on to that 10,290, 300 zone. So that means that possibly, you know, some amount of shorts are getting covered because the shorts have not been able to take out 10,290. So today is the first day where I would like to risk taking a long position on Bank Nifty, because PSU banks, you know, beyond a point cannot go a whole lot. And if we have to go up, then private banks, possibly today is the day for them to show their mettle. So my sense is that with a stop, say around 10,290, 300, and on the Bank Nifty, maybe, you know, low of the day, which is about 24,400, 420. It could be a good day to get long, because IT is providing fairly strong support. You have FMCG, which is playing for the bulls. So it will be difficult for the bears, unless, you know, big selling comes back again in the afternoon, to take the market substantially lower, and that will lead to the Bank Nifty covering. Having said that, there is also a sense that things which are defensive and which don't have too much to do with rates, those are performing well. So United Spirits is a buy with a stop of 3100, target of 3250. Jubilant Food is a buy with a stop of 2060, target of 2200. NIT Tech is a buy with a stop of 890, target of 925. And also, you can put a Tata Global in this sort of category. So if you steer clear of broad rate sensitives and PSU type stocks, I think today is a fairly decent day.
Ashwini, you spoke about PSU type stocks. Stay away from them. Just take a look at a couple of these banks. PNB, that one's fallen again closer to the lower end of today's trading session. The stock is at around that 92 rupees mark, down about 48-49% in the last few days since the whole scam broke out. IDBI Bank, that one should come up for you as well. That one's down about 7%, and this, remember, was a relative outperformer in the PSU banking space, moved from 57, 58 in February to 85 and now come back to about 66. You said stay away from PSU banks on a trading from a trading perspective. Do you think a short would make sense after the kind of correction that we've seen in all these PSU banks?
See, nobody is going long on them.
Right.
So the shorts are having a field day, and they could still fall another 15-20% without much being changed. So that sort of sell-off continues. But today, since it's a bullish day and most stocks are going up, maybe for a change, let's look at stuff that's going up.
All right, maybe we'll look at something which is going up. Ashwini, you're wearing a golden jacket, pull up Titan. That one too is at the high point of the day. But let's move on then. We have SpiceJet, who signed the largest engines deal worth $12 billion with French company Safran Group for the airline's bulk order of Boeing MAX planes. Here's more from SpiceJet's Ajay Singh.
The deal between Safran and SpiceJet alone is worth $12.5 billion. We are absolutely delighted that we have this long-term contract with Safran. This deal is for the delivery of engines for our new aircraft, the Boeing MAX aircraft, 155 of them, for spare engines, as well as a comprehensive maintenance contract for the next 10 years. As far as the seaplane is concerned, we have demonstrated that aircraft, and of course it has great potential in the Indian market, and we will continue to study it. Of course, there are no rules for that aircraft at this time, so it's tough to say when and how we will induct it, but it's a relatively small part of our business. We will take a look at it once the rules are in place. Our focus really is on the expansion of our narrow body fleet. As you know, we are going to get 155 of these planes, and in addition to that, we have leased some planes as well. So just in the next 2 years, in 2018 and calendar 2019, we are adding close to 50 aircraft. These are narrow body aircraft as well as regional aircraft, the Bombardier Q400. So our focus is really on making sure that these aircraft are added seamlessly into our network in the most efficient way possible.
Stock on our radar right now is Rolta India. In focus, out of the company bags various digital transformation contracts. The stock has spiked. These deals, remember, span from different industries. There's telecom, shipping, power. So to discuss more, we have Mr. K.K. Singh, the CMD of the company, joining us on the show right away. Thanks a lot, Mr. Singh, for coming and stopping by in our studios.
Thank you so much.
365 crore worth orders is what you've won. So you won. So if you could tell us the breakup of those orders in the smart city, the shipping, as well as the power business, and what does this take your total order book to?
The order book took about 3,000 crores.
Okay.
And of course, as you asked, the breakup is about 160 crores is for the power order. And for the smart city, it's about 25 crores. That for the shipping, it's almost like another 80 crores or so. And then there are Dial 112 also, which is part of Safe City, which we are doing for the complete, it's for the whole state. So all that together is coming to that kind of thing. And then there is a network analysis, which is analytics for the whole network, and that's for the almost 57,000 kilometers within the country. That will be almost 130 crores as well.
Right. All right, so Mr. Singh, your order book is looking good. 3,000 crores, it looks all fancy, it's looking good. But what about your debts on your books? You know, your debt, I think, was around 6,000 crores, right? The last time we spoke.
Yes.
And you're doing that entire restructuring.
Yes.
And that's going to bring your debt down.
Yes.
So that's on track. If you could tell us, what will it bring your debt down to? And how much interest savings will happen from there?
So the debt after restructuring will come down, of course, as we exercise options. First of all, the restructuring will ensure that we have a saving of almost 300 crores for the interest itself. So the interest itself, what we say, will go down and sit on our profitability, and the balance sheet will do that extending. And then we have options. You know, within 1 year we can pay $200 million and take off the whole bonds. So if we are doing that, then of course the debt is coming down by almost $400 million by that. So that is $600 million by that. And then of course we are taking other steps as well. So our debt will come down substantially, $600 to $800 million.
From 6,000 crores, your debt comes down to what? It comes down by half? You're talking about these exercise of options,
yes,
and you require some approvals as well, I believe.
Yes, by then I think in a year's time, I think it should come down to almost $400 million.
Okay, so what happens to your finance cost? Because the first 9 months, I'm looking at your numbers, the reported numbers, your debt has come down from what, 5,500 crores to about 5,100 crores, but the last time you said it had increased to about 6,000 crores. Your finance costs from 390 crores, they've gone up to 461 crores. That's for the first 9 months. When does the reduction of your finance cost happen, and going forward, what is the likely run rate?
See, the finance cost yearly basis you will see will be about 625 crores or so. And this is, so this quarter of course is nothing, because March is nothing is going to be changed. What will be changing is something by the close of, between the second quarter of the next year. So somewhere by that, then the changes will start coming in. So they will start reflecting in the balance sheet and the profitability then. Okay,
so 300 crores of interest savings, sir, is what you're going to do, correct?
Yes.
So your next year, your net profit should look like what? 350, 400 crores? That's the number you told us last time.
Absolutely.
So you're going to do that, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So 350 to 400 crores, that's the number that Rolta is telling us here on CNBC TV18 that you're going to be doing for FY19.
Yes.
All right, sir. What about the top line? You're talking about such a big order book. But last time you said that maybe my top line will not grow, but I'll look at margins. But if orders are coming in, then your top line should grow, right?
No, yeah. But simultaneously, we are also consciously leaving a lot of low-end system integration work, which we used to traditionally do.
So being choosy is what you're saying.
Yes, we are very choosy. We are leaving that out. We are discarding it because those are the work which are at 10-12% margin, and we just want to keep doing them. So they are going away.
You know, sir, I was looking at your shareholding pattern. You say the prospects of the company are looking good. You will do about 350 to 400 crores in profit next year. It appears as if the promoters are lightening their positions in the company. 50.81% was in March, then it fell down to 50.53%, 50.33% as of...
No, we are not lightening at all. No, I'll explain. That's a very good question, but I'll explain it.
So you're not selling in the...
No, not a penny. So the point is that we have stock options. So as and when the stock options of the employees get vested, the share capital goes up, and therefore our share percentage comes down.
So are you going to pay your employees in stock options, because your employee costs have come down by about 24%?
No, stock options have always been there. So the star performers get the stock options, and as the stock options vest, they exercise, and then the share capital accordingly change.
So promoter holding is saying is at 50.5%?
Yes, promoter holding is that much, and that's always, I mean, we are not reducing a penny.
You're not reducing any stake?
Not a penny. We never have sold.
Any of those shares are pledged of the promoter?
Yes, of course, the shares are pledged.
How much is it?
So almost about 50% of the shares are pledged.
So if everything is looking so good, will you, can you tell our the entire audience out there, they want to know about Rolta. You're telling us you're winning orders. You're telling us that in fact, your interest costs are going to come down. You're going to report good net profit next year as well. Can you tell the viewers as well out there that in fact your pledge is going to be totally wiped out? The 50% that you hold, can you say that in fact the promoter's pledge is going to be released totally?
I am very hopeful of that. So
hopeful, no, sir. Give us some timelines if you can.
Yeah, in the next year it will be out.
In the next 1 year it will be out. All right.
That's your hopeful. That's something that you're hopeful of. But okay, let's talk about something that your shareholders are hopeful of. Last 2 years you haven't given any dividend. Next year you said that you're going to do the profit number that you said you will be doing. The shareholders, will you be distributing some dividends?
Yes, the shareholders will get certainly the returns. I'm saying that they will get returns in many ways. And, dividend is, of course, on our cards, but all will depend upon how the board takes it.
All right, sir. Just a final question before we wrap up. So you're assuring all your investors and viewers out there that your interest cost is going to come down by 300 crores, sir. the promoter's pledge is going to release totally, and in fact, you could declare a dividend as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, sir.
You are right, absolutely. That's what I said.
All right, we'll hold you on to that, and we'll keep chatting with you once we get more details from the company. Thanks a lot, Mr. Singh, for joining us.
The mid-cap index is doing a relative underperformance. We also have something like Dr. Reddy's that's under some pressure from the highs of the day. It's moved to the lows of the day. And in fact, from the broader markets, I'm looking at KRBL. The stock saw a sharp correction from around that 650 to around 450. Today, it's seeing a bit of a rally. It's up closer to around 7% in today's trading session. But over the last few days, well, the steel and aluminium stocks, they've been under pressure because of some duties that have been imposed into imports that come into the United States. Now it's time for shrimps to face the heat. Naveen is with us. Naveen, those stocks are under some pressure. There's a duty that's being imposed.
So it's more of a sentimental negative, Nigel. If you see the duty, anti-dumping duty on the shrimp imports to US has been preliminarily increased from 0.84 to 2.34. Optically, it looks a 3 times jump. But yeah, if you see in terms of numerically, it's not a big, it's a small issue. But if you see which companies will be impacted, Apex Frozen Food, although it's come out of its lows of the day and it's almost flattish in today's trade, but 75% of its revenues comes from US. So that is something which needs to be noted. The other company that will be impacted is Avanti Feeds, because almost 10% of its revenues comes from the exports to US. There are other companies which will be indirectly impacted, the likes of Waterbase. Remember, Waterbase is a shrimp feed manufacturer which provides shrimp feeds to these shrimp manufacturers. So indirectly, they will also be impacted. In fact, Equirus, that is one brokerage house which has come out with a report saying that it won't impact the volumes drastically. So more of a sentimental negative. That is the reason why you're seeing the stock sulking in trade today.
All right, Naveen, but another couple of stocks which are sulking as we speak. Ujjivan is at the low point of the day. We have BEML and a few of these financials, Cholamandalam as well, at the low point of the day. But let's move on to a big developing national story. The agitating farmers who began the 180-kilometer march from Nashik plan to surround the State Assembly later today. Archana Shukla gets us the latest on the ground report. Archana?
Well, yes, you see the red flags fluttering here behind me. The CPIM's All India Kisan Sabha-led protest. The farmers' march is finally here at Azad Maidan. They walked 180 kilometers and now are waiting for a formal meeting with the government. We understand that at around 12:30, 9 to 10 farmer leaders from this group will go and meet a group of ministers and then the chief minister with their charter of demands. Eight demands is what they've listed, and the biggest of them all is to get a complete loan waiver without any conditions on that loan waiver. The second certainly is on the Forest Rights Act, where they want forest land to be given to the tillers. They want compensation for the farmers, and most important, they also want recommendations of the Swaminathan Committee report to be implemented, which means the selling price of the produce should be 1.5 times that of the cost of production. Now, look at this from the perspective of what the government has been discussing in the last couple of days. But the farmer leaders here, the farmers who walked these hundreds of kilometers to come here, are saying that they are not, at least till this point in time, not very convinced of what are the steps that the government is taking. They will intensify their stir if even one of their demands is not met. So they are going to sit here to get all their 8 demands fulfilled by the government, at least confirmed that the government will make a move on those demands. Also interesting to note is the kind of political support this group has got from parties like MNS, Shiv Sena and Congress, all giving out their support. We understand that all the senior leaders from CPIM like Sitaram Yechuris, one from Kerala as well as from Rajasthan, are all here to support this march. We'll keep bringing you more updates from that. But the action now will slowly move to Assembly, where the group of ministers is meeting right now before they set out with this meeting with the farmer leaders.
All right, Archana, thanks a lot for bringing us that ground report. We'll definitely keep an eye out on the developments on that story.